Hello everybody, welcome back to the More James Allcott channel with me, More. Spurs have made it through to the semi-finals of the Europa League. The season is still alive, and have you ever enjoyed an ugly win more than that if you're a Spurs fan? I thought it was everything that you've probably been screaming for all season long. An absolutely huge one. Now, it will get kind of put into the weeds a little bit. I've just done a reaction to the Man United game, which is obviously absolutely ridiculous. And if you want to go and check that out, you can do. But this was a different kind of game, and it definitely is worth talking about. We're going to be doing Jaffin live 10 a.m. Tomorrow or Friday. And make sure you join us. Flav will be there, and he will be blissfully happy as the Spurs march on, or whatever they bloody call. Let's talk about the game, because there's some big performances there. I'm always a bit wary of hyperbole, and it was chucked out there that this was a coming of age game for Spurs. I wouldn't go that far, but I think what it allows is for Spurs fans to go, I'm not a nutter. Like, there are good players here, and they can have brains, and they can do the sensible thing. I thought it was a game where I was watching both games at the same time. And I thought that this game was so tense. You really did not know which way it was going to go. You really didn't. And I thought, watching it, and let me know if you agree, Spurs fans, did you think that you were going to lose it due to a silly error? I thought you would. I thought it was so tight as a game. I thought that you'd give away some silly, unforced error, and it would hurt you. It would hurt you enough for you to obviously concede, and then you might get done in penalties, just because it's been such a bad season for both the teams in Europa League today, in terms of the English sides, Man United and Tottenham. You know, where you are in the league, it's not good enough. But it's funny, you know, we're talking about Arsenal, obviously with their exploits in the Champions League, and when we're looking at Tottenham, one talking point for both has been the injuries this year. And I think when we look at the two teams here, there are some clues as to maybe why that you were able to beat a team that is third in the Bundesliga. There's a lot of players in this Frankfurt team. Brown, Larson, Bahoya, Tiat, Ekatike. Would not be surprised if you see them in Premier League shirts. Obviously, you've got Christensen and Koch. And I love Koch, but I don't see him being an incredible Premier League player, personally. Sorry, I had to. But look at that Spurs side. And I thought there were some huge performances. And do you know what the biggest thing I thought? I thought there's no way that team wasn't playing for the manager there. And they played like it was mature. It was mature. It was physical when it needed to be. There's a few players that I thought really shone. I'll put forward my player of the match in a second. But I thought people put their bodies on the line, in particular James Maddison, and obviously had to go off pretty much because of that. But throughout the game, I thought Solanke worked tirelessly in terms of bumping the opposition at different times. And it was a game that was played kind of in that, it was on the edge, wasn't it? But it was a physical game. And it was one where I thought that no Spurs player sort of shirked a challenge. If anything, I thought Brendan Johnson was unlucky to get booked in this one. Bentancur made a tackle, and I thought, what are you doing? But that back line, Porro, Romero, Van der Ven, and Udogie. And with Vicario, obviously, you know, this is getting close to what you want to be your first 11, right? I thought when Maddison went off, I thought you lost a lot of control, and I think that led to the change in the momentum of the game. And look, you need some luck along the way. You know, speaking of Man United game, they just got a massive dollop of luck, and you needed a bit as well. And you were kind of unlucky in the first leg with some of the chances that you had. For the goalkeeper had a great second half, or certainly a period in that. And so you needed a few moments. Christensen, for them's got to score one of those two chances. Doesn't. But, like, I think you've gone through a lot this year, Tottenham. And I think that team has got a lot of quality there. And the fact that you were able to win the way you won, I think it won't get spoken about at all. No one will talk about it tomorrow. They'll focus on Man United. And I get it. But I actually think there are more solid positives from this performance in a sort of quite ugly, boring game where you had to defend a little bit at the end of it there. I thought Bergvall was superb. So smart and mature, defensively reading the game really well, often winning headers that you might not expect someone as pretty as that to be winning. Van der Ven and Romero, having those two together, that's such a contingency plan in terms of a ball over the top if they do get away. I thought Porro read balls over the top throughout the game really, really well. Udogie, there's been a lot of talk about left backs and Kirkes and Anthony Robinson. This lad's much better than the two of them, in my opinion. I think he is probably the best left back in the league. I thought he was my man of the match. I thought he was absurdly good. Under a lot of pressure, winning it, driving with the ball, great crosses into the box, and Spurs could have scored more. I thought the whole left side actually in particular was really, really good. Again, this chat of a sort of coming of age. It's not enough, is it? Just to get one hard-fought win against a tough team in Frankfurt, you've got to go win that semi-final, get yourself to the final, and go get the whole thing done. Because I do think, and I think all Spurs fans feel like, that's not a bad team. That's really not a bad team. And that's the team without Kulusevski in it. So to have Kulusevski come off the bench, that's nice. You know? Solanke worked so hard. Deserved his goal. Did you feel nervous when he took it? I certainly felt nervous when he took it, I'll be honest. But did you win the XG battle? I think you probably would have lost it by the end of it, wouldn't you? Because the momentum kind of went away from you. Let's have a quick look. No, you won it. Interesting. Because that shows the sort of, how defensively sound I guess you were in this one. 39% possession. I think that would have been better if you'd had Maddison on the pitch. I thought overall, you became a bit sort of defensive and conservative. But again, that's not the worst thing. And that has been a bit of a problem for you in terms of getting out at times. But a lovely, ugly one, wasn't it? Really lovely, ugly one. And I think that's what you wanted. I don't think many Spurs fans thought you were going to get it done. But you did. Away at Frankfurt. That's not easy. That is not easy at all. Can this be a springboard? The problem is you've got to keep playing Premier League games. And with those Premier League games, you kind of lose all momentum when you lose to teams that you shouldn't be losing to. And I think that's the cognitive dissonance that we've had with Tottenham all season long, is the fact that there are some good players here. I think Glenn Hoddle spoke about, can you have the adaptability when you haven't got all your stars together? I guess we'll need to learn that nuance if Ange is able to survive into next season. But between now and then, you've got a team there that has every reason to be getting itself to the final. Will you play Man United in that final? It's a question for another time. Let me know your thoughts. Go check out the Man United Reazione on the main channel and join me 10 a.m. with Flav to allow Flav to bask in the glory. And smash the like button if you're a Spurs fan and you love our Flav, because I'll take that like and use it to help me with the algorithm. All right. See you at 10.